which is really useful because it's a good forum where we can compare, different key policy areas between the states, but also
and then how do you coordinate that public policy work, because every state has different state legislations and their own intricacies because they produce different things across all states and territories. So how do you bring them together and then compare with the federal, and how do you do that 1 to 8 kind of a comparison?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate that the state is able to have legislation and take lead on some of the things that are happening in their state. I think it's really important that state governments work with the communities to prioritise their priorities for their future of their state. For instance, in Queensland, things like water, energy, really important for Queensland, and the Queensland government's taking a lead role in that, which I think is can be very, very appropriate. And I wouldn't like to suggest that states start to defer to federal legislation, from a holistic perspective, because I don't think that would be entirely appropriate. But I do think there needs to be a greater coordination piece between states with each other, as in individual states, particularly on...
Is that the role of the National Farmers Federation to bring all together, or is it working?
For agriculture?
Yeah,
certainly the National Farmers Federation plays a key role. So they
bring perspectives from across all states.
So Queensland Farmers Federation is a member of the National Farmers Federation, as are the other state ag bodies. Which is really useful because it's a good forum where we can compare, different key policy areas between the states, but also feed into policy work at that national level. But I think from an intergovernment perspective, we've got a lot of work to do. There are forums that bring together, for instance, the water
National Cabinet. Is there a National Cabinet on the agriculture process?
Yes, and water and energy and other things that matter to agriculture. So I think that's a really good positive step. But I think we are highly legislated in Australia, so I think we've got some work to do in terms of perhaps streamlining some of the legislation.
Can I throw another spanner in the works of another challenge you might foresee in the future? As Australia takes on the adoption of AI and AI in any way or form, as you know, AI requires a lot of power, and you're running large data centers, you need water. So there are two conversations to be had: that are we producing energy on surplus? Do we have extra energy in the system across all states to be used through these computational large data centers? For example, in US, what US has done is they have turned on closed power plants to be given to Microsoft so that they can draw an energy from those sources, so that it's not impacting the consumer grade or regional power and water both. Water is a different conversation, but yes, for power, that's what they're doing. But I think that conversation has to be had in Australia as well. If we don't produce energy in surplus, are we thinking of increasing our energy production? Because if we want to be a part of that AI conversation in the future, if we don't do that conversation of extra power production, we will draw from the current source. And if we draw from current source of power and water, who will get less? And how do you decide that?
So I think a couple of things in there. So I think, if you're a business that's not engaging and utilising AI and automation, you are falling behind. So I think, it's incredibly important that Australia utilises AI to the best of its ability to leverage the opportunities there.